Let's get started. All about the rare and massive full moon in Taurus event with a lunar eclipse. And they're calling it a partial lunar eclipse, but it's dang near complete. It's 97.4% partial eclipse. And I put in the description for this video the times when the full moon is peaking, which happens to be about right smack dab in the center, like almost literally right in the center of that partial eclipse. So that's one reason it's super powerful. This is going to be the longest eclipse in over 100 years. 3 hours, 28 minutes, 23 seconds. And although you'll start to see effects on the moon before that and still after that, but as to when this is occurring, so central time zone, because that's where I'm at, central time, the peak of the full moon is on Friday morning, early morning at 2:58 a.m. Central Time, Friday, November 19th. Jot that down. Mark your calendar. Put an alert on your phone if you want to get up for that. I'm going to be up for it. And that's all 3 a.m. I guess 3 p.m. potentially as well. But 3 a.m. for sure is called the witching hour. We'll touch on that here in a moment. And the partial lunar eclipse event. So what has not occurred in 580 years is full moon in Taurus, in the constellation Taurus. We had our new moon in Scorpio on the opposite end of the 12 houses wheel of the Zodiac sign. So the new moon was in Scorpio. Now the full moon is in Taurus. It's always that way. So you can use that Zodiac wheel of the 12 houses when your new moon occurs in one sign, the direct opposite on the wheel, that's when your full moon is going to occur. So full moon in Taurus with a partial eclipse or, lunar eclipse of this magnitude has not occurred in 580 years on Earth, right? This is all from our Earth perspective, our Earth goggles, right? Because it's the moon in relation to the sun that causes the light of the moon in relation to each other with the Earth in the middle. Our perspective is from Earth, right? So we're looking at the moon, and depending on where the sun is and the Earth, the moon's rotation around the Earth in relation to the sun, that changes how much it is illuminated. Okay, and that eclipse event starts at 1:18 a.m. Friday morning or late Thursday night, however you want to think about it. 1:18 a.m. Central Standard Time and goes through 4:47 a.m. Okay, so this is a really powerful, stellar, and event, right? It's really powerful, has great power. The moon cycles in and of themselves, as many of you know, as part of your practices, also hold great power. And so the new moon that we were at 2 weeks ago, new moon in Scorpio, was, is that right? Yeah, new moon in Scorpio. Brain. New moon in Scorpio. Let's reflect on that for a moment, because I know some of you set intentions at the new moon 2 weeks ago. And the new moon, again, was about to work through your fears. Work through your fears. And the moon cycle progresses. The first 2 weeks of the moon cycle are about creating and taking inspired action. So you set your intention on the new moon and you outline action steps, simple, tiny, doable steps that you can take towards your intention, to align yourself with your intention, to magnetize people, events, circumstances, thoughts, beliefs, etc. around your intention. Intentions have organizing power. Yogis knew this thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Humans have known it forever. Okay, so your intention orients you, magnetizes you to the fruition of that as a reality in the 3D. And we can get frustrated because it takes longer to get it from 5D to 3D. So we set the intention in 5D, it comes into the physical. Physical is the hardest of our 5 bodies to shift because it's in the physical. It takes more time, okay? So the moon cycle goes, we're here, started here, and it goes around this way, okay? So as it starts to grow, so we set our intention on the new moon, then it starts to grow, we refine our actions, we're reflecting and refining, and then the full moon is typically about celebrating and creating. So creating ritual, celebrating your wins, reflecting on where you really need to course correct. And this moon especially, so we're going to talk about here in a minute, is really, really, you are at a crossroads. You've got to decide, are you going to stay in your comfort zone? Are you going to stay in your comfy pants and self-soothe with your creature comforts and maybe a bad habit or two, right? Or are you going to let that shit go and create what you're here to create? Because you only have so much energy. So what are you going to put your energy towards? You're going to put your energy towards what, is comfortable, what's keeping you safe, what's keeping you in your little womb of comfort, okay? Or can you expand the walls of the comfort zone? You don't have to completely leave your comfort zone. You can, right? But we want to expand the walls of the comfort zone to include new possibilities and take new actions and let go of things that are no longer serving us. So the crossroads again is staying in the comfort zone. That's one way. Or going forward and stepping outside the comfort zone or pushing that edge of the comfort zone, right? Just enough into uncertainty, into maybe a little bit of healthy fear, just like our joints need healthy stress. And our bones need healthy stress to remodel properly. Like when astronauts go into space, they lose bone mass. Their bones become more dense. They're not remodeling properly. They don't have gravity, right? So we need healthy stress. We need that healthy discomfort to be able to create and grow and share our gifts with the world. So the other crossroad, right? The other road is being in flow, trusting yourself to know. I'm a poet and I don't know it. Being in flow, trusting yourself to know, right? Being connected to that divine, higher self, intuitive guidance that is always streaming to you. We just don't always hear it or follow it or trust it. Okay, so being in that flow, which if you've got like addictions going on or whatever, or negative thought patterns, anxiety, depression, we've got to address those root issues to help you feel safe to trust, right? So sometimes expanding that comfort zone is just cleaning up your diet. Sometimes it is starting a meditation practice, a daily yoga practice, a monthly ritual with the moon, okay? So this is a great time for really getting clear on which direction you're going to go at this crossroads, because this is really a crossroads. And it's totally fine if you want to stay comfortable, if you want to self-soothe, stay in those comfy pants, watch some Netflix, eat your favorite snack. That's totally fine. But accept it unconditionally, right? Accept and love it unconditionally. Instead of saying to yourself, oh, I really shouldn't be eating this, and then you're eating it. You're giving your body mixed messages. So embrace it. If that's where you're at and you want to stay in that comfort zone, that's totally fine. If you're ready to step forward, this lunar event is your time. Very clear about that, right? And the lunar cycle, again, mimics the cycle of life, the circle of life, where we have birth, growth, death, and rebirth. Birth, growth, death, rebirth. Growth, death, rebirth. growth, death, rebirth. And before I talk about a little bit more about the full moon in Taurus and specifically for certain zodiac signs, it's very, going to be somewhat challenging maybe, but super transformational if you allow it. Let's bring in the goddess energy. So the goddesses that are here today to help us embrace all that this full moon has to offer. We've got 3 goddesses that came forward. Let's see if I can say her name right. So we have CHILLAX, we have Ixchel, I'm probably saying that totally wrong, and Kali. Okay, so we have creativity because we want to be focusing on creative action during this time. During the full moon, that's the climax, the peak, creative time. Creativity is peaking, and then it's going to start to wane, and we need to start to go inside, and we need to start to reflect and rest during the second half of the lunar cycle. So creative climaxing now, the 3 days right around the full moon. So starting at 3 p.m. today through, let's see, that would be 3 p.m. Saturday. 3 p.m. today to 3 p.m. Saturday are your peak climax time for your creative projects. So get going on those. Stop procrastinating. And if you are procrastinating, I've got an offer here at the end for you. Okay, but some things that can block us are fear and grief. Fear and grief. Kali and CHILLAX are here to teach us, and we'll do a guided meditation here in a little while to help you release some things. So we'll do it to connect with what makes your heart sing with creativity, and then either Kali or CHILLAX will help us release something that's blocking us. Okay, so with the full moon in Taurus, what that is teaching us, what that's here to usher in for us is new moon in Scorpio was about death, was about letting go, was about shedding skin. So when scorpions grow, they have an exoskeleton. We have an endoskeleton or an inner skeleton, but scorpions have an exoskeleton. They're arachnids, and when they grow bigger, they shed their skin, and then they get bigger, they outgrow that skin. So it's kind of what we're doing in a way, right? So Scorpio is about rebirth, about a phoenix rising from the ashes. So burning up, getting out of that old skin and getting comfortable, starting to get comfortable in that new skin. It's roomier clothes that fit better. Okay, when we're willing to get out of something we've outgrown, then we can grow into what we are becoming. So the full moon in Taurus says that your dreams need a practical plan. Okay, so sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic for sure, and sometimes you need to be practical. Okay, you need to use the laws of attraction and the power of focus, yes, but you also need to balance that with taking down to earth steps. Taurus is an earth sign. I'm a Taurus. Kelly Ashford's a Taurus. So we need to balance that with practical action steps, with taking practical action and envisioning what we want. Oftentimes, we're like just focused on the visioning and the feeling of it, which is super important, yes, but we have to actually do some things as well, right? We have to take inspired action. So make some, when you outline your vision, your dream here in a moment, when we're creating, we want to also make some bullet points, some simple action steps, some specific things that you can do that you're committing to do in the next, 3 to 7 days, 3 days better, right? With the cycle of the moon. This card, let me hold the card up. Full moon in Taurus. There we go. If you're having money issues, this card heralds a change this time, this full moon in Taurus, and this card heralds a change of financial fortunes. Okay? And this is tied to both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. Okay? So it's important to clean up your inner thoughts, your expectations, as well as your actions. All right? So could it be that there's been some, you've gotten too comfortable, that there's some laziness going on, right? And laziness really is just a lack of inspiration. And again, great shifter. We had such a great workshop this past weekend, how to leave procrastination station and hop aboard the creativity choo-choo. And I'm going to tell you how to access that here in a few minutes. So super powerful workshop. Actually, if you wanted to access that, I loaded it to my website, the All About Woo website. If I can multitask here. Put that right there. It should be right on that landing page. And it's got a whole support system set up on the website. You'll be added to a private group where you can interact with other course members, workshop members. And this is really like a mini masterclass, guys. This is really cool what came through me on Saturday morning. I was not expecting this level of profoundness for people, but it's really helped people shift. Okay, so check that out if you've been struggling with inaction or feeling uninspired or unmotivated. Tips and tricks that work in real time. I'm a fan of what works, and I shared 3 tools or techniques during that workshop that shift you just like that. Okay, all right, so check that out. More exercise could be called for. Okay, so consider that. Taurus being an earth element, we love to be comfortable. We love to, just snuggle in, have our creature comforts, right? But we need movement. All the signs need movement, right? So more exercise. Consider if you need more exercise, because that lifts your spirits. That gets you breathing rhythmically, okay? And the breath is our spirit. And so it cleans those intuitive channels as well. What sort of negative energy have you been dealing with? Is it internal thoughts? Is it your judgment of circumstances in your life, the world, judgment of others, judgment of self? We're hardest on ourselves, right? Is there any jealousy or envy or comparison mindset going on? Stop comparing yourself to other people. And we can only really compare ourselves to ourselves. So past versions of ourselves, future versions of ourselves. We have many different timelines stretching out in front of us. And we're at that crossroads. Have a clear vision, clear dream. And this really is about time, about getting back to earth, getting grounded. Okay, getting grounded, working through any negative feelings or emotions. The moon is a heightened time of emotional turbulence sometimes. There's a lot of crazy things. All cops, former cops, law enforcement know this. Hospitals know this too. A lot of babies are born on full moons, and there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens on a full moon, okay? So get grounded. Address any emotions coming up. Allow the emotions to flow. It's just energy in motion. Find balance between being passionate and being overly intense, overly achiever mindset, right? And this is really about that balance between being grounded, lifting your spirits through movement, through mindset, by letting go of something you need to let go of that's blocking you, bad habit, procrastination, what have you. and stepping forward with our gifts fully expressed. And I made a post in the group the other day about these crossroads. So let me just ask, will you stay in your comfort zone? Which is totally fine. And I'm going to mention some particular signs here in a moment where that might be appropriate. Okay? So the rewards of staying in the comfort zone are being comfortable, duh. Soothing yourself with your creature comforts. We all have creature comforts. One of mine is coffee. I love coffee. Maybe even chillaxing in your comfy pants and watching some Netflix. I love The Circle. If you haven't watched The Circle, it's totally entertaining. Risks of staying in the comfort zone: slipping further into dysfunction or even spiritual disconnect. Being comfortably numb. And potentially watching your dreams and maybe even yourself wither. Okay, so that's a risk of staying in the comfort zone. Or will you embrace your higher self and her constant stream of intuitive divine guidance and creative sparks? Because when we're in creative flow, when we're energized, when we're living our life to the fullest, that is contagious. Just like yawning is contagious, so is creativity. And creativity to me is as essential as the breath. So take a breath in and let it go. Good. Keep the breath flowing. So some rewards of stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing your higher self and that constant stream of intuitive guidance and sparking that in others is excitement, right? It's exciting when we're aligned and feeling inspired. Feeling the joy of being in divine co-creative flow and spontaneously sparking other souls to do the same. You never know who you're going to spark. It could be somebody you don't even know. Maybe you're driving along smiling and somebody driving the other way sees that and was like, oh, they look happy. That lifts my spirits. Or it can be, asking a store clerk how their day is going and just listening, right? Or just through your vibe, through your vibration, it can lift others as well. So it's really beautiful that way. We live in this co-creative world where it's so beautiful. So in regard to your particular sign for this rare and massive lunar event we have Friday morning, early Friday morning, let's take a look there. So let's see here. So the 3 signs that can chill are Gemini, Virgo, and Capricorn. All right, so the 4 signs that will be most strongly affected by the lunar event on November 19, Friday, are Taurus, again, duh, because it's full moon in Taurus, right? So Taurus, Taurians, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay? And for the rest of the signs, the other 5 signs, just consider yourself somewhere in the middle of can chill, need to get your act together and be ready, right? Huge opportunity right now for those 4 signs to make massive shifts and transform. Okay? If you take the challenge, if you step on the road. Okay? You're at the crossroads, right? So let me find more info for each of those signs here. I got this info from the what does it say? Hindustan Times. The Hindustan Times. Let me get the link and put it in the chat. Da 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 da. Okay, and this is Vedic astrology, but it does overlap with Western astrology. Now I got a lot of tabs open. So that's something that I do regularly on my computer, but also in my mind is like, do I need to close some tabs? Do I have too many tabs open right now? Sometimes we do. Okay, so it says these zodiac signs rather need to watch out. Okay, so again, this is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Um, let's see. The lunar eclipse will impact Taurus and Scorpio signs the most. So we're in regard to the lunar eclipse now, as the moon will be placed in Taurus and the sun in Scorpio. Taurus is a fixed earthly sign. Scorpio is a watery sign. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, Taurus by Earth. Okay, and it's going to push us to connect with our bodies and seek security when it comes to love, finances, and self-worth. Okay, so it's really about getting grounded in yourself, okay, and finding that security within yourself. So there could be unexpected events, sudden shifts, which can throw them out of their comfort zones. So if you're Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, you choose to stay in your comfort zone, or the other 5 signs, you could find yourself outside the comfort zone. So if you expand it, that's, then you're prepping. You're at least a little bit ready for whatever the heck's coming your way, right? Similarly, Leo sign people, they may feel like drained emotionally. So again, the full moon is things coming to a head, things being illuminated. It can be a very emotional time because the moon rules our emotions. Okay. And so Leo, there could be some unexpected things as well. Same with Aquarius, right? Maybe not as massive as for Taurus and Scorpio. Lucky us, right? Let's see, I'm just scanning my notes. I always take notes and compile things for y'all. Let me see if I find that other tab's probably still open. Let me just flip through here my various tabs. I found this really cool article that went, here it is. Okay, so this is on Bustle, and I will copy the link so you can read about all these. You can find your particular sign and read about it. I'm going to shift on to the goddess meditation here in a moment. I don't want to get too long-winded here. Okay, so this is the link for what I'm about to share with you right now. Let me see if I can find it again. There it is. Okay, so starting with Taurus, Taurus the bull, April 20th to May 20th. Taurus, this intense lunation is firing up your house of self. So expect to face monumental shifts in areas of your self-identity. As a fixed sign, you're not too fond of change. You're being challenged outside the confines of your comfort. Let's see. Taurus can expect their biggest challenges to be highlighted, as well as all the progress they have made that deserves celebrations and recognition. And we talked about this last month on the full moon, when it was full moon in Aries. It was about celebrating and appreciating with that fiery climax. Okay, so again, celebrate, recognize your accomplishments, but recognize there might be some challenges coming up for you, coming to a head. Okay, so body image, self-expression, anything that might be out of comfort zone for you, pay attention to. Okay, Leo, let's go on to Scorpio. Actually, Scorpio is October 23rd to November 21st. And for Scorpios, with this lunar event, your relationships are the center of attention during this lunation. You may experience your close connections taking unexpected turns, or find yourself in deep reflection of your needs within your relationships. So it's important for Scorpios to think about their connections, their relationships during this time, and the challenges presented within them. ignoring patterns, or just not facing them head on could make them worse, right? Like if you get a sliver in your hand, and you leave it in there, it kind of festers, right? It can be the same thing in relationships. You need to face these things head on, get the splinter out, let the wound heal. So use this time, Scorpio, to advocate for yourself and your experiences, ensuring that the people around you can truly support you in the way that you need them to. Leo the Lion, July 23rd to August 22nd. This eclipse is moving into your public life, leaving you particularly exposed and vulnerable, Leo. You might feel increased pressure at work or in your social life to behave a certain way or fit an image to appease others. And, you know, the need to suddenly overperform for others or the fear of not having your actions validated could lead you to burnout. So you might be approaching a burnout. Have you been people pleasing? Have you been with your dog and pony show, trotting out your tricks to make people like you? This time is about finding a strong footing in yourself and not relying on others to push you to the places you need to go, or not relying on others to validate you, to know your own worth. Okay? Aquarius, January 20th through February 18th is Aquarius. You may feel extra sentimental during this lunation as you uncover revelations from your past. The full moon moving into your house of home and private life, pushing you to clear out your sanctuary, literally and figuratively. It's time to nurture and reparent yourself as you move into a new phase of life. So that's exciting, but you need to mother yourself, father yourself, nurture yourself, reparent yourself. And it says that it's most likely that Aquarius folks will have to reconcile with parts of their identity that no longer provide a stable foundation for their spirit to exist freely. And it's encouraged that you meditate upon the parts of your past that you feel still define your actions today. Okay. All right. So if you want to read about the other signs, I want to move on to the goddess meditations here. So starting with creativity with, where is she? Coatlicue. And I will hold up her card so you can see her beautiful. Oh, sorry. Starting with grief. Okay. So we're going to start with grief, about letting go. We're going to move into creativity. And then we're going to look at what fears are coming up. Okay. So Coatlicue, let me hold up, let me get my camera tab open so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, good. You're putting your signs in the chat. Yes, yes. Cool, cool, cool. Yes. Okay. So Coatlicue, thanks for being so engaging and being here with me. I love you guys. All right. And it was so fun to put this together for you, to channel this. I got to hold it on this side. Oh my gosh. Allergy nose. There we go. Coatlicue. She's holding the moon. That ring light is kind of... There we go. Oh, that's better. Because you want to be able to see the cool face on the moon. There we go. And breathe. Coatlicue. Grief. With my head heavy with loss, with my eyes blinded by tears, I wander, unable to rest, unable to find ease. I am dry. My bones are dust in the desert sun. My heart ripped out, lies broken on the ground. Each step I take in living tramples it anew. Each breath I take in living ruptures my wounds. How can I bear the unbearable? How can I survive the insurmountable? Will my sorrow ever end? Will my loss ever be filled? Will my longing ever cease? So, Côte la Queue, or serpent skirt, she's got a skirt of serpents, kind of like Callie does. Côte la Queue is mother of the Aztec deities. She gets her name because she wears a skirt made of swinging rattlesnakes. Wow. Trying to hold that so you can see the cool. There we go. There we go. Got it. She's worshipped as Earth Mother and Life and Death Mother. She found some white plumed feathers one day and placing them on her breast became pregnant. When the other gods, her children, discovered her pregnancy, they swore to kill her to keep her new offspring from supplanting them. Only her beloved daughter, oh boy, Coyolxauhqui, the moon goddess, Coyolxauhqul, the moon goddess, we'll call her, warned her mother. The moon goddess was decapitated by the sun god, and the grieving Côte la Queue placed her daughter's luminous head in the sky. So she's here to help bring you face to face with grief. If you have unresolved grief from loss, or sometimes as we end one cycle of life, we need time to grieve that. So she's here to tell you that there's no way around grief. There's no place you can hide from grief. The way to wholeness lies in going through your grief. Have you been afraid to face the pain that accepting grief and going through the grief process will bring? Have you been hiding from grief, pretending you are really okay? Perhaps you fear the grief is so great that you will remain in it for the rest of your life. Yeah, I've felt that before. Have you done some of your grieving, but not all of it, so that it catches you unaware in odd moments? Perhaps you're staying in a situation you need to leave, but fear the grief that leaving would engender. It's imperative for your healing process that you grieve. Ask for support from others. Life is about loss, and loss is part of life. I'm going to say that again. Life is about loss, and loss is part of life. The seasons change, and all is in a state of transition, always. Even grief, if fully faced, will finally lessen. One day, in time, you'll feel stronger and more alive. One day your wounds will fade to scars. Remember that your process takes as long as it needs. It takes as long as it needs to take. There's no rush. There's no timetable for it. And everyone's time of grief and stages of grief are different. She tells you to feel the grief so the healing can come. Okay. Let's move on to creativity. Such an exciting word, isn't it? Doesn't that word feel good? Like creativity, it's exciting. Think about creating something. So creativity, let me see how Ishel. Duh. Ishel. Look at her. Let me hold that straight. Wow. Ishel, she's there in the moon. I weave strings of energy into the web of creation where nothing was before, out of the void into the world. I spin them into existence, out from my mind, out from my body, out of my awareness of what needs to be. Now there is something new, and all life is nourished. Ixchel was worshipped by the Maya of the Yucatan Peninsula on Cozumel, her sacred island. The moon snake goddess, see a theme here? The moon snake goddess, she helps assure fertility by holding her sacred womb jar upside down so that the waters of creation can ever be flowing. Ishel also presides over weaving, magic, health and healing, sexuality, water, and childbirth. The dragonfly is her special animal, and dragonflies typically signify transformation. When she was almost killed by her grandfather for becoming the sun's lover, the dragonfly sang over her until she was well. Isn't that beautiful? So it's time to express creativity with this full moon, right? As we were talking about with this full moon in Taurus, especially with the partial eclipse. And you don't have to like do it in the middle of the night. You can during the witching hour. But you can do it. There's like a 3-day window, guys. So we have the full moon climax or peak, and then a day and a half before, day and a half after. So a 3-day window centered on that full moon climax, which is 3 a.m. Friday morning. So today, Wednesday, 3 p.m. to Saturday, 3 p.m., block out time for creative projects. If you're having trouble with procrastination, sign up for that workshop. Do that workshop. It's like 2 hours of your time, maybe a little bit more, but people say it just flies by. Okay, so you can sign up at allaboutwoo.com for that workshop. If you're stuck at procrastination station, let's get you on that creativity choo-choo. Okay, so I lost my train of thought here. So, okay, so Ishel, I was going to talk about the witching hour. That's where my brain was going. So real quick, I want to tell you about the witching hour because it kind of gets a bad rap sometimes. All right, so the witching hour, 3 a.m., there's a lot of debate about it, but some believe that it's the time of night when the veil between life and death is the thinnest, allowing spirits and ghosts to travel between two worlds. So why do those paranormal shows go ghost hunting in the middle of the night? Okay. Others believe that witches and psychics are more powerful at this time of night. Some aren't really sure what the witching hour is, but they know nothing good happens at 3 a.m. Or I've also heard nothing good happens after 3 a.m., like if you've been out partying or something. And so let's see. And also has ties to the crucifixion. So it was identified by some as the devil, the devil's hour between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. And the reasoning behind this is tied to religious texts. Jesus was crucified at 3 p.m. and the inverse of that would be 3 a.m., making it an hour of demonic activity according to folklore. Okay. Now, people in their creative element, witches back in the day, scared the shit out of others. Okay. When they started stepping into their gifts, they scared other people. Okay. And they would do their work under the cloak of darkness, or when that psychic energy, when the world is more still and calm, there's not so much busyness out there. It's quieter and calmer. And so they would do their work in the middle of the night. Phrase was first recorded sometime around 1835, but the origins extend back to about 1535, where the Catholic Church forbade activities during the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. window due to rising concerns about witchcraft in Europe. And so witch hunts, demonic activity, exorcisms, rituals, they've all become intertwined with the witching hour. And it's something that came up when people were scared of others stepping into their gifts. Okay, so if you decide, I asked you those two questions before, the crossroads we're at. Are you going to stay in your comfy zone with your comfy pants, which is totally fine, do it, all about it, love it as a Taurus? Or are you going to get out of your comfort zone and start traveling and pushing that boundary that you've set up with your creature comforts and your behaviors, etc.? Are you going to step into that? I mean, some of the rewards of stepping into it, again, are excitement and feeling that joy of being co-creative with the divine and sparking other people to do the same. So it can be super powerful. Let's do a brief meditation. I'm going long today, I guess. Let's do a brief meditation. And so let's just take some deep breaths in and out. Just relax into this moment. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth slowly. And then breathe in through the nose and release it slowly from the mouth without making a sound, silently. Letting all the stress and tension leave you just as a vapor would on the exhales. Allow yourself to relax. And in that state of relaxation that you're starting to feel now, feel, sense, or envision the atoms in your body. Hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of atoms in your body. They're vibrating. Now extend that awareness to your surroundings. Maybe the chair you're sitting on, the room you're in, or if you're outside. Let yourself become one with these atoms inside of you and outside of you. Molecules of vibrating energy. Breathing. Now, you may want to extend that awareness out from that a bit. And each time you extend the awareness, you feel all the other energies as one mass of vibrating energy. All is pure vibrating energy. Some people call it love. You are a piece of energy vibrating in the solar system, in the universe. You see, feel, or sense yourself as a piece of vibrating energy in the energy web called the universe. And as part of that piece, being a piece of the whole, there are specific gifts that you have. There are specific sparks within you to create, to co-create with your higher self. What is your deepest, most heartfelt desire for yourself? What is your dream for yourself, others, or the world? What do you want to create? What do you want to see more of in the world? Feel it as vividly as possible. Feel this creation being added to the energy web that you are part of. Feel it. Maybe feel its potential ripple effects in the energy web. Bask here for a few more breaths. Now start to bring your awareness back into the space around you, back into your vessel. And when you're ready, coming back fully, welcome back. So what vision or visions or dreams? What's your heartfelt desire? What are you here to create? What lights you up? What are you passionate about? Okay. Jot that down. For some of you, it's more than jotting, like you're writing pages and pages and pages probably, right? But some of you, it's simple phrase, few sentences. Jot that down. Consider, what are 1 to 3 simple action steps you could take in line with that creation? 1 to 3 very simple action steps. Jot those down. 1 to 3 simple, super simple. We overcomplicate everything. I say that because I do it, right? Simple action steps. Jot those down now. Make a commitment. Put those on your calendar. Carve out time, especially in the next 3 days. From 3 p.m. today to Saturday, 3 p.m. That is a beautiful window, or you can even get started right after this live stream completes, which will be here in just about less than 8 minutes, 7 minutes. Keep it under an hour today. I had no idea I was going to talk this long. Okay. Or stream this long. Okay, so let's go on to what sort of whack-a-moles could pop up in front of you and get in the way of you stepping into your gifts and expanding your comfort zone and creating. Fear. Fear. Okay, look at Callie. Holy moly, mama. Callie. Fear. She is a badass. I love Callie. She's the Hindu triple goddess of creation, birth, preservation, growth, and destruction, death. Okay? Hindu triple goddess. And she's the animating force of Shiva. Shiva, Lord of the Dance. Shiva the Destroyer, he's also known as in Hinduism. She is the insatiable hunger of time that births, then devours. The insatiable hunger of time that births and devours. Skulls, cemeteries, and blood are all associated with her. Her energy is uncontrollable. After killing 2 demons, she got drunk on their blood and began dancing on their dead flesh. She danced herself into a frenzy until she realized she almost danced Shiva to death. She's the animating force of Shiva. Okay, so she has danced into your life to tell you it's time to face your fears. All that is lurking ominously, either buried deep in your inner darkness or close by, needs to be stared in the eye and brought into the light of consciousness. The first step in everything in all healing is awareness. So we need to bring what's being hidden, what we're ashamed of, whatever it is, what we're scared of, into the light. Are your fears serving you by warning you about dangerous places, things, or people? Those are valid fears, right? Or do your fears, I would call those healthy fears, right? Healthy fears, or healthy attention, paying attention when we need to, okay? Or do your fears prevent you from dancing your dance, living your life, creating with creation? Kali comes to tell you that your dance is needed as part of the whole dance of creation. Your dance is needed. You are a piece of energy in the energy web, okay? So no more stagnation, no more, shutting down. It's time to contribute. It's time to not only contribute, but expand and feel more connected and alive and excited and joyful. So she's come to tell you that wholeness is nurtured when you reclaim the pieces of yourself that you've given over to fear. Reclaim those pieces. Most fears are formless. By naming and witnessing the fear, you gain power. Wholeness is created when you learn to acknowledge your fears and walk through them. So consider Do you have a fear of failure? Do you have a fear of success? Do you have a fear of being seen, being vulnerable, being hurt? They're all valid. They're all perfect. Okay? They're just indicators of where healing needs to occur, an opportunity for healing. So when you call these fears out, when you get a hold of them, when you bring them into the light, then they lose some of their power. They have power when they're in the darkness, when we're like trying to stuff them down, when we're resisting them. But when you face the fear, when you're willing to face the fear, feel the fear and do it anyway is one of those sayings, right? When you're willing to face the fear and take inspired action, they lose power and you gain some power back. Okay, so let me see if this meditation is appropriate. Yes, okay, so one more quick meditation, then we'll close it up. So take a few breaths. And you're going to place a hand over your heart. Perhaps you can feel the rhythm and pulse of your heartbeat. Let the rhythm of your breath slow down as you breathe in and out, feeling or sensing your heart beating. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, see yourself standing inside your own heart. It feels very comfortable there. There's a path behind your heart known as the hidden path. Step onto that path. The path takes you up and it takes you down. The path takes you over and it takes you under. On the path, you experience all you need to experience and you see all you need to see. The path begins to climb gradually up, up, up. Now the path has become steep and you're required to climb hand over hand until you reach a ledge. You pull yourself up onto the ledge and slowly stand up. You're now on the plane of vision where the winds blow cool, clear, and clean, where you can see all you need to see. Take a deep breath and inhale the clarity of the plane of vision. You are now ready to call your fear. You call your fear and it comes. When you meet your fear, ask its name and it will tell you. What does it look like? Notice any feelings you're having and breathe into them. Your fear asks you for something and you give it freely. It's now time to return. Ask your fear to accompany you and abide by its decision. Take another full deep breath of the clarity of the plane of vision. Return to the ledge and begin to climb down, down, down. The path takes you down and it takes you under. You're feeling refreshed and revitalized, feeling light and buoyant as you return on the hidden path that lies behind your heart. You approach your heart and step into it, experiencing the pulsing of your blood. Take a deep breath, and when you exhale, feel yourself fully back in your body. Take some more deep breaths, and if your eyes were closed, blinking the eyes open, welcome back. Welcome back. So, very proud of you all for facing your fears, for showing up, for shining your light. We are always works in progress, okay? We're always works in progress. And because we're in the creation, it can be hard to tell that we're moving the needle on things, but just know that you are. And it's probably not going to look like what you think it's going to look like, Okay, so the hows are the domain of the universe. You set the vision, you take simple action steps towards the vision, and other things start to come in to support you. And again, it may not look, the sequence of events may not unfold like you think they will. Usually doesn't. But our job, it's usually even better. When the vision unfolds, it's usually even better than you could have created consciously. Trust me. And so if you notice yourself judging yourself for needing to have time to self-care, let that go. We need relaxation, rest, renewal, and we need to be taking inspired action. Okay, so we need that balance. That's again what the full moon in Taurus is here to teach us, is that yes, magic and meditation, etc., envisioning, the more spiritual, ethereal practices are helpful and necessary, but we also need to take grounded action in the physical 3D realm, especially in regard to our body. We've got to take really good care of our body minds, feed yourself well, nourish yourself well. If you're going to prepare to do a ritual tonight, I've got other videos about creating rituals, so you can check that out in the tribe there. But I've got my little ritual tray here, my little goodies, rocks, things, etc. You might want to prepare a jar of purified water to place out in the moonlight for the next 3 nights. So starting tonight, or let's see. Yeah, you can do it tonight, Thursday night, Friday. You can do it for several nights. Like when you get strong moonlight, just place that out in the moonlight. And I put a little label on top so I know which moon this is from. This one's from the full harvest moon back on September 20th. Haven't actually drank any of this one yet. And you can sip on it or add it to bath water, but it charges it. It's really nice to bring into ritual practices. You can make essential oil sprays with your moon water, what have you. Some of you may have done a cord cutting ceremony that we talked about doing last full moon or new moon, I forget. But if you've tied a cord around a wrist, ankle, throat, representing something you're ready to let go of, full moon is a great time to cut that cord. Or you can wait till new moon. Or you can do it, whenever is appropriate for you. But if you've doing a cord cutting ceremony, or you want to do a cord cutting ceremony, this is a good time to put a cord on either wrists or ankles, or some people do the waist or throat, that represents, and you can just get like suede or lanyard, that represents what you're letting go of, whether that's a bad habit, what have you. This is just a little piece of ribbon. And really what you're wanting to create instead. So the bad habit you're releasing is represented by being bound by the bad habit. And what do you want instead? So when you get ready to cut that cord, you're focusing on what you want instead. As you cut the cord, you're releasing that behavior, habit, mindset, what have you, and freeing the bondage, basically. It's a really cool ceremony to do. And then you can burn the cord if you want. Okay. So again, 2:58 a.m. Friday morning is the peak of the full moon in Taurus. And then that partial lunar eclipse, 97.4% fully eclipsed, it's going to be super cool, is from 1:18 a.m. to 4:47 a.m. So I will be up for it. I know some of you will as well. The lunar eclipse is an amplifier. So like, you know how you can play music through your phone? I don't know where my phone is. There it is. You can play music through your phone. That's like the full moon, regular full moon. But you ever hook it up to a speaker? That's an amplifier, right? Well, the lunar eclipse is like that speaker, okay? So it's going to amplify all the energies, and this is an especially powerful one because, again, it's the first occurrence of this event in 580 years. So enjoy. Happy creating. Thank you so much for being here. Teresa, my mom, Miriam, Juliana, Tina, yay, hi. Oh, so thankful, you guys. I'm going to go back into the comments. Debbie, Grace, Stephanie. Yes, so glad to see you here. Sorry, if you were on here and I didn't mention your name, I apologize. I can only see you if you put something in the comments. Like otherwise I just see a little eyeball with a number. So thanks again. Happy full mooning. Bathe yourself in that moonlight. Take a nice Epsom salt bath. Do something nice for yourself. Create a beautiful ritual for yourself and schedule time for those creative projects. Get those on your calendar. Commit to doing them. This is a beautiful window for creating and letting go, right? And creating. Love you guys. Namaste, y'all.